So today we're going to be talking about malware. Now, you may have heard the term before, but a lot of people don't actually know what it even means. So let me give you an example. If you've ever seen something like this, or maybe like this on your screen, that's an example of malware. Malware is just an umbrella term for the different types of software that can cause damage to your computer after it's installed on your computer. So it's normally delivered through means of phishing, which is where an attacker just tries to get you to click on a link or go to a website, download a file, something like that. They try to bait you, that's why it's called phishing, they try to bait you into clicking on a link and downloading something, get it onto your computer so they can run the malicious code or do whatever they want with your computer. Because once you download a program on your computer, it's whoever owns that software, they can control the computer now because you likely have administrative access. It can affect computers through a variety of means, some of which include locking up the computer until ransom is paid, that's called ransomware. Spying on your activities, so logging all of the keys that you press, you press the W key, it'll send the W key to the attacker. That's called keylogger, or spyware, I guess. And then there's adware, that's just installing, or software that puts a bunch of ads on your computer, and it's like bloatware, it's just really annoying. The adware will normally also be malicious, so if you click on one of the ads, it'll be like a bad website that will install more crap on your computer. Some other ones include Trojans, worms, viruses, rootkits, etc. According to the MalwareBytes State of Malware 2021 report, we saw a 147% increase in hacking tools installed on computers in 2021 as opposed to 2020, and a 24% increase in malware installations on computers in 2021. We also saw that there was a new ransomware program, or a ransomware software that was called the Egregor, which was deployed against Ubisoft, whatever, Kmart, Crytek, and Barnes & Noble in 2021, or 2020. Another trend we saw in 2020 was the malware distribution as a service programs. And they're basically just, the malware distribution as a service programs are provided from ransomware gangs, and I know that it sounds like a fake term, but they're provided from them to anyone, pretty much anyone. I can just go on the dark web, find one of these websites, I'll put a screenshot on screen. You can go to these websites and they have these fully built packages where you can just select, if you want a keylogger, a spyware, ransomware type of thing. You have various packages to choose from at different levels of support. They're fully fledged businesses built around stealing your data. So to say that it's a big problem is kind of an understatement. If you are a target, you will be hacked. And if you don't think you'll ever become a target, you will. It's simple as that. Okay, now let's talk about how you can prevent malware from even getting on your system in the first place. If you're a small business and you want to know how to do this, skip to here. Otherwise, this is the part for individuals trying to secure their home network and their personal data. Here's the start of the list. First off, use a strong Wi-Fi password and a password manager to use strong passwords across your entire password database. I recommend LastPass, that's what I use for my password manager, and it's really great. You can just generate a password that's 16 characters long, no one's ever going to guess that. The only downside to password managers is that if they are targeted by hackers, and they get access to your account, they have access to all of your passwords. But then you just have to go in and change your passwords. Anyways, so tip number 1, secure passwords. Secure, long, don't even have to be easy to remember. If you have a password manager, just secure and long passwords, including your Wi-Fi password. Please change the default Wi-Fi password. Keep your phones, tablets, computers, laptops, fridges, all updated as long as they're connected to your Wi-Fi or your home network. Anything that connects to your network, including, like, I have a smart LED right behind the monitor that connects to my Wi-Fi. Make sure it's updated, make sure everything is updated. If you see an update on Windows, just install it, maybe even before you start your day of work, because everyone's working from home, so just make sure you keep everything updated, because that's pretty much why they update things. Okay, tip number 3, keep all of your sensitive data backed up. Anything that you are afraid of losing, anything that you want to keep permanently, like maybe you can't remember your social security number and you put it on your hard drive for some reason, which please don't do that, but if you want something like that to be secured no matter what, back it up. Put it on a flash drive, use automated backups on Windows, I don't know, just back it up, put it on a flash drive, do something with it. Keep it away from your network. Don't put it on your network. Don't have a hard drive that's backing up all your data directly connected to the network, because if it's compromised, then they have access to the backup as well, and then it's useless. So, back up your data. Tip number 4, use a updated antivirus software, and use a strong one at that. Don't use something that's that, I don't know. Sometimes antivirus softwares, the website is like Sketch, just sketches me out, so I don't even go to that antivirus. Maybe something like Norton, McAfee. Tip number 5 goes hand in hand with what I just said, kind of. Watch out for sketchy websites online. You really, like I said, you don't have to have all these implementations in place, as long as you just don't go on sketchy websites. Don't go on the Pirate Bay. Don't go on some illegal pirating website where you can get free games and videos or something. That also applies to any email attachments too. So a general rule of thumb is to just not download any email attachments unless you verify who the sender is. The last one is, if you're tech savvy enough, I would recommend to install a intrusion detection or prevention system on your network. It's not really necessary on home networks, because home networks aren't really targeted ever, but if you either want to be really careless online and just want to have all those protections in place, or you just want to be really secure and you're really worried about someone targeting you or something, you feel like you're a target, then go ahead and install an IDS IPS is what it's called. Okay, for small businesses, small business owners, or people who are thinking about starting a small business, you really need to ensure that your employees are safe. That's really the main thing with businesses overall. I guess this would apply to large businesses, but I didn't want to target them specifically because large businesses are scary to ensure they're secure. I mean, there's so many holes that attackers can go through. Anyways, ensure that your employees have an updated, solid, constantly running, I guess, antivirus software on their computers. And if possible, disable the USB flash drive functionality on computers. If you have a computer, right, and you plug a flash drive into here, it shouldn't be able to send data. It shouldn't recognize it as a flash drive, because that's an inherent security risk. Anyone can plug anything into the computer. This third point is the same thing as the previous one, kind of, but it's more of a overarching point, and it involves managing all of the assets, the IT assets in your company, including your employees' computers. Basically, don't allow your employees to bring their own devices, because that's an inherent security risk. They can have whatever they want on those computers, right? Unless you're enforcing some kind of policy that says that you can't have this device, or you can't have this certain software on the device. But it's much easier to just say you can't have this device, we'll provide you a device. And I guess for small businesses that would be difficult as well because of funding issues. So that leads me into the next point here. Ensuring devices that are connected to your network are compliant with your security policies and security restraints. You can configure Microsoft Intune, or Nagios Core, which is an open source free alternative. You can configure either of those to only allow a computer to connect to the network after they are compliant with your necessary security policies. And you can configure the security policies to, let's say they have a video game cracking software, right, on their computer, and it's like a known virus, and you have specifically in your security policy that we don't want any computers connecting to our network that have viruses that are within this antiviruses, the specific antiviruses list of known malware, right? So you enable that on your Microsoft Intune or what's it? Nagios Core, right? And whenever they connect, it will tell them, hey, you can't connect, you have this software on your computer that just isn't allowed on the network. So they won't be able to connect to the network at all unless they get that issue resolved. So 2 more points here. One is that you should be keeping logs of your network activity. You can do that through a intrusion detection or prevention system. You can do that through a network monitoring tool. Point number two is that you should ensure you're doing regular backups. I would say weekly, if not like daily, because if you don't do backups and someone locks up your computer through ransomware or some other means, right, and they destroy your data, or they just take your data and they just like destroy your computer, then you won't be able to get any of that data back. And especially for companies, proprietary data is like the main driving force for the company, right? One more general rule of thumb here is or a good resource here is to look at the National Institutes of Standards and Technology, NIST. Look at the NIST 800 series, because that specifies IT compliance regulations and recommendations for businesses and businesses to comply with. And it's not like a standard or anything, but it's an industry type of standard, and it's very helpful in getting a good idea of what you should be doing without just kind of being blindly thrown out there. Specifically on the compliance side of things for the network compliance issue, NIST 800-53. The links for everything that I mentioned will be in the description. So I know that was a lot to digest if you've never even heard of the term malware before, but yeah, that is an overview of what malware is and how you can prevent against it in your organization or your personal life. So if you have any questions on it, just leave a comment down below, and I can go in a lot more depth with all of this, so if you want to see more in-depth videos on maybe the specific types of malware like ransomware, spyware, specifically those or something like that, just leave it in the leave it in the comments section below. My name is Robert, thank you for watching my video, and bye.